Okay, this is the reading from IELTS Book 10 from test number 1, and we're going to look just at the first reading from that book because I don't have time today to do the entire test. As you know, the entire test is 1 hour, but we're going to just do the first reading, and there are 3 readings per test, so that means you've got about 20 minutes per reading, per article. Now, usually the first reading is a little bit easier than the other 2, and therefore I'm going to give ourselves between 18 and 19 minutes, just to give ourselves an extra 2 minutes, or perhaps even more if we're good, for the next part of the second part of the reading test. Before I start, it's important to let everybody know that I haven't seen this test before, so there's a good chance that I will make mistakes as well. So it's important to watch this video until the end to see the actual answers, because I might be getting them wrong as well, because of the time pressure. Now, another thing I'd like to just point out before we start, for those of you who are not aware of it, one thing I like to do before I before I look at the questions, is to have a look at the title, try to make a guess as to what the title might be, and also to look at the subtitle or the first paragraph. In this case, it starts with a millennium ago, and then also looking at the first paragraph as well, because that introduces you to the topic and activates your schemata. Now that means basically it will make your brain start thinking about this topic, and for that reason it'll help your brain to get ready for the types of questions that might come up. So this is before we even look at the questions. And also what I do tend to do is look at the first sentence of each paragraph. You'll be surprised at how many answers you can actually find just by doing that first. Then I'll look at the questions, and then I'll come back to the text. And when I come back to the text, I will be looking at capitalized words, words that are italicized. Let's just have a quick look at what I mean by italicized. There we go. I don't know how to say this word. It's an Indian word, but Bauri, that's an italicized word. And of course, capitalized words are like Gujarat, the capital G there. And also what I will be looking for, if I've got time, is something that I like to call honey lexis. And I will put a link to what I mean about honey lexis below, so you can do a little bit more research on it. Okay, so let's begin. Have a look at the time. It's 10:08, and we're going to give ourselves 18 minutes, so that's 28, so till 26, so 10:26. Let's begin. So step wells. Wells are things that contain water. So a millennium ago, 1,000 years ago, step wells were fundamental to life in the driest parts of India. Richard Cox travels to the northwestern part of India to document these spectacular monuments from a bygone era, an era that's no longer valid these days. Okay, so during the 6th and 7th centuries, the inhabitants of modern-day states of Gujarat and Rajasthan, those dry areas in northwestern India, developed a method of gaining access to clean, fresh groundwater during the dry seasons, bathing, watering animals, and irrigation. However, the significance of this invention, the step well, goes beyond its utilitarian application. Okay, that's the first paragraph. So now I'm just going to look at the first sentence of each paragraph. Unique to this region, step wells are often architecturally complex and vary widely in size and shape. Okay, next paragraph. As their name suggests, step wells comprise a series of stone steps descending from ground level to the water source as it recedes following the rains. So after the monsoon, the level of the water goes down. Some wells are vast open craters with hundreds of steps paving each sloping side, often in tiers. Open craters. And now Down the century, thousands of wells were constructed throughout North India, but the majority have now been fallen into disuse. They're derelict and dry. Groundwater for industrial use. The wells no longer reach the water table. Okay. Alright, next paragraph. Some important sites have recently undergone major restoration. Plans to restore the wells throughout the state of Gujarat. There's a capitalized word. Okay, and this will start to explain these different parts of Gujarat. So in Patan, the Queen's Well, honest current example. Okay, example of a good well. Another example is the Surya Kund in Madeira, northern Gujarat, next to the Sun Temple, built in 1026. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention, is to underline any important numbers or dates as well, because that often questions and answers hide in there. To honor the sun god Surya. Okay, next one. Rajasthan also has a wealth of wells. So now we're talking about Rajasthan. Here we were talking about Gujarat, and now we're going to talk about Rajasthan. The city of Bundi, 200 kilometers south, is renowned for its architecture, including stepwells. The is called Jibari, built by the Queen, 1699. Okay, in Upneri, oldest and deepest wells is Chandbari. Aesthetically, perhaps the most dramatic. Interesting. Okay, and the last one, still in public use, so still being used. 9 stories deep. Okay. 9 stories deep. And over here today, years of neglect, many of these. Saved by the Archaeological Survey of India. Tourists flock. Okay, that's the next sentence. Alright, so now what we can do is look at the questions. So, do the following statements agree? True, false, not given. So examples of ancient stepwells can be found all over the world. At this point, I don't know. Oops, what's happened there? Just going to pause this for a second. Okay, we'll give ourselves another 1 minute there. Right, so we don't know yet. Stepwells had a large one related to water collection, range of functions, beyond the utilitarian, I think it was written here. Beyond, goes beyond, significance goes beyond. Could be a few existing stepwells are more attractive than those found elsewhere. Not sure yet. Sorry, again, 1 second. Just made that text a bit smaller so we can fit it in. It took workers many years to build the stone steps characteristic of stepwells. We're still not sure about that one, and the number of steps above this altered during the course of the year. Yes, we know that. True, because of following the rains. It recedes following the rains. So that's true. And let's just have a look at this one again. Stepwells has a range of functions in addition to those related to water collection. It suggests it here, but we haven't read properly yet. But I'm going to say true. True. Okay, we'll add 1 more minute to that, so that makes it 10:30 we stop. Okay, now let's have a look at these here. Which part of the step was provided shade for people? Okay, we still need to think about that one. Serious climatic event. Southern Rajasthan is mentioned in the article. So we're looking for Rajasthan. And who are frequent visitors to these days? I think we saw tourists down here, didn't we? Tourists flock, and this idea of flocking is large numbers. Okay. And the last question here. Okay, so these ones are related. We highlighted all of those. So let's come back to those later. Okay. A few existing stepwells in Delhi are more attractive than those found elsewhere. I just thought I saw something aesthetically the most dramatic, and that's in Rajasthan. But can we find the word Delhi? So we have to find here. There it is. So, here we go. Places of gathering, leisure, relaxation, and worship. So we were correct with this one here. Sorry, this one here. So we can take away that question mark. So easy one, we'll do the easy ones first, and the easy one is number 3. We just have to find Delhi. Well, a few also survive in Delhi. Aesthetic, possibly the most dramatic. Attractive, aesthetically dramatic, attractive, I think that means the same. So false. Let's just put F there. Okay. Took the workers many years to build the stone steps characteristic of stepwells, and ancient examples can be found all over the world. Now, I think if we find the word unique to India or something like that, unique to this region, there we go. So look for the synonym unique, and so that is false as well. It took workers many years to build the stone steps characteristic of the stairwells. So we're looking for something like ages, long time. Okay, here we've got the word constructed. No. True, false, not given are some of the most annoying because you have to read the whole text. But this is about skimming now, skimming for the text. Okay, I can't see anything about workers or anything like that, so this I would say is an NG, not given. Because no doubt they did take many, many years to build them. Some of them, one of them is 9 stories high or deep, so it no doubt took a lot of time. Okay, which part of the sum step was provided shade? Now we've got this word shade. And I think I saw something, oops, I think I saw something here. That sheltered visitors from the relentless heat. So something that, pillars that included pavilions that sheltered. Okay, so now we need to go to southern Rajasthan, and so let's see if we can find that Rajasthan. We've done Gujarat. Remember here it is Rajasthan. There we go. including step wells. Okay, there's some sort of climatic event. Okay, I can't see anything about Rajasthan. The ancient capital. Oh, here we go. There's Rajasthan again. Southern Rajasthan. It's about an 8-year drought. So, it was good of us to go directly to this part, but because that's all mentioning Rajasthan, but as you can see, there's also it's mentioned here as well. Okay. Next, now we can go to Rani Ki Vav. So let's go. Here we go. This all the answers sitting in here, so we can do that quickly. It was restored in the 1960s, and it's in excellent condition despite the something of 2001 earthquake of 2001. Surya Kund. Easy. Next one. Steps on the producer geometrical pattern. Geometrical formation. Whoops. Steps. Sides of steps that descend to the bottom. Steps on the actually resembles a tank, means reservoir or pond rather than a well, but displays a whole step architecture. 4 sides of steps that descend to the bottom. Sides of steps. Steps on the side. Okay, so steps on the side produce a geometrical pattern. It looks more like a resembles a tank, looks more like a tank. Well, okay. Okay, let's have a look at this one. And Kibari. Oh, okay, no point sitting and looking at that. Kibari. Steps take you down 11 stories. Okay, so the answer is going to be after that. Dramatic. It has something which provides a view of the steps. So verandas which are supported by ornate pillars. So supported, so it must be verandas. And notice it would have to be a plural S. They're checking your grammar because it wouldn't have provide, it would have provides if it was a single noun, singular noun. Okay, almost done. It has something levels. 2 being underwater. There's the word 2 being underwater. So 9 stories, 2 being underwater. Alright, so underwater levels. used by public today. So let's just quickly, we've got, what did we say, we'd go until 30, so we've done quite well here, 4 more minutes. This one is the only one I'm a bit concerned about. A few existing step words in Delhi are more attractive than those found elsewhere. Still think that's false because of what they said about the ones in Rajasthan. Okay. I think I'm confident with this, and I would be, if I was doing the full test, I would definitely be going on to the next section now, because I've given myself three extra minutes to complete section 2 and 3. So let me pause it now. I'll get the answers up, and then we'll have a look at the answers. Okay, so you can see the answers on the right hand side, and we'll just go through them and see how we can improve them if they are wrong. Okay, so examples of number 1, it's false, then that one is true, then you see that's the one I was a bit concerned about. More attractive than those found elsewhere. Still a little bit unfair, I think. Aesthetically, perhaps the most dramatic. Perhaps the most dramatic, one of the most dramatic, if they... Perhaps they meant of the ones mentioned within Rajasthan, as opposed to everything that they've mentioned in this article. But I think that's a little bit unfair, that question. Anyway, that's what they say, so we have to change it. So that's X and G. Oops. It's doing it again. Just 1 second. Oops, and G. Okay. The next one is not given. Well done. And true, we've done fine. Then pavilions. Notice the spelling. Only 1 L. I've seen some people put 2 L's. That would be incorrect. They would not give you a point if you'd made a spelling mistake, even as difficult as that one. Then we've got the word drought, which is fine, and then tourists, which is good. And then number 9 is earthquake, good. Number 10, steps on the... Interesting, they won't accept just side, and it must be sides. So 4 sides. Okay, another mistake there, so we need 4 sides. Let's make that also we can see it. That's not part of the answer, number 10. Okay, number 11 is a tank. Then we've got veranda, spelt with an H sometimes as well. That's acceptable, but must have both an S at the end. And then underwater is correct. So that's 2 incorrect answers, and there's 1 point per correct answer. That's 38 out of 40. And if you head over to examenglish.com, you can see you can put in your scores. So, oh sorry, thinking of the test overall. So in fact, that's the easiest one, and I made 2 mistakes just in the first part. So I can't work out what the band score is until I've done the section 2 and 3. But as you can see, it's a bit tricky, the reading. And remember, you've also got this time constraint. So let's see what the score will be at the end once I've done section 2 and 3, once we've worked together and done section 2 and 3. Okay, so I hope that was useful for you, and you can see that even a teacher, native speaking English teacher, can have issues with the reading text particularly, and that's what most people have the most difficulty with of all the exams. Okay, so I hope that's useful. Thank you.